All right, y'all. Y'all don't understand. Lisa Durden has interviewed a lot of celebrities on red carpets, on platforms, on panels at film festivals because I'm a filmmaker. I've interviewed, so I don't fan out about a lot of celebrities. Oprah, of course, that's my wife. She just don't know. There's a handful of musical people that I love. Janet Jackson and honey Selena Johnson. Oh my God. Clap for that. Whoop, 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 whoop. Because listen,
Yay!
yeah, thank you very much. And she made time for Lisa Durden. We're celebrating uh Black Music Month this month here at the Sidebar, which is presented by the New York Association of Black Journalists, because even though we're journalists, we like to have conversations around many things. And one of the things I don't talk a lot about is Black Music Month. I've talked about all kinds of topics before during Women's History Month and Pride Month and Black History Month, but never really um Black Music Month. And so we want to, well, the podcast has, but I'm new to the podcast as a contributor. So they kept thinking,
Uh-huh.
who can we interview? I said, ooh, Selena Johnson. I love her. Hi, Selena.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for joining me. And listen, the lady's busy, booked and busy, so I'm gonna let her tell you all about her. But I'm gonna do the usual corny thing, Selena, because a lot of people are not a fan. I'm like, Selena, let me tell you something, girl. I'm not your fan, I'm your stalker. Do you mind?
Okay. I'm totally okay with it. Yeah.
Because I know everything about you, but other folks don't. So for the
Okay.
podcast, we're gonna go through things and it'll be like 30 minutes, so we'll just make it work. So I
Hmm.
wanted to start with at the beginning, that's the usual corny question, because a lot of people are new to you, and some people are just like, you're a legend, in my opinion. So let's talk about your background in music. A lot of people, when they start to sing, they say, when I was a little girl, I had a hairbrush in my hand and or a
Hmm.
mop stick in my hand and I'm singing. So tell me where you picked up this music thing. I know that you have a little bit of a background with, I think, your dad. So was it like your dad who was a singer, or you just were naturally like picking up a hairbrush? Like, how did you get started even thinking about singing, or were you musically inclined?
Well, I am a product of my father's line. They are musicians, and they are musically inclined, all of them, from my grandfather um, to um, my uncles. All of them played instruments. They were self-taught. My grandfather had perfect pitch.
Wow.
So and I've adopted that from him as well. So I I get pretty much all of that, and not just I won't say all of it because my mom used to sing back in the day as well.
Mm,
So I guess I have best of both worlds. Um, Never really I played instruments, but I don't have the patience to really like master them.
mm, mm.
But I grew up in a house where my father played, guitar scales. It was tons of musicians there. It was, all the time. He played the harmonica all day. So
Wow.
just a house filled with music all the time. That was like a big staple in our home. And then my oldest sister loves music. She was like a Prince fan. And so my other sister, Celicia, was a Michael Jackson fan, so
Me
we
too.
just we just had a house full of music. And I just feel like I was exposed to so much music all the time. When I was little, I didn't understand what it meant to want to sing.
Mm, mm,
I my father was an entertainer,
mm-hmm.
and I just didn't. I guess as a child, I did not connect the dots, kind of sort of, until I got maybe into my teens.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And just to give you the cliff notes, like my dad didn't really, believe in my singing, even though he knew I could sing. He didn't want me in the music business because he thought that the music business
Right.
was treacherous.
And
So
it is. And
he
is.
would it,
And
and
is.
is
And
and he
is.
would do okay, and he would do whatever he could, to deter me
Mm,
from being in the music business,
mm,
right?
mm,
So if I sang around the house, and I love to sing, but I wasn't thinking in my mind, when I grew up, I'm going to be a singer.
mm, mm, mm.
I just knew it was something that I knew how to do. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just something that came very easy to me as a very, very small child. Like my mother tells me, when I was 2 and 3, they would put me on the bar at the clubs.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be singing along to the Aretha Franklin and all the other, different artists. So I'm assuming it has just been something that has been of me since I'm born, right? But I didn't understand that I wanted to become a singer until I was about 15, 16 years old.
Oh,
And I was
that's
always
still
in,
young. That's still very
eh,
young
eh,
to know that.
yeah, you know what? Maybe not 15, 16. I'll say the sixth grade.
Oh, that's 12. That's about
My
12.
I was 12. So
Mm-hmm.
my sixth grade teacher was an opera singer.
Oh, wow.
And she used to sing around the class all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would just be in awe of her. Um, and one day we had to do like this show and tell thing where it was like a Halloween or whatever. And so I dressed up as Jody Watley
I
and
love Jody Watley.
and
Friend
I
will
sang,
let you
listen,
down. Ooh,
okay.
ooh. Yep.
Remember the song "I'm Looking for a
I knew
New Love,
love,
baby"?
baby. That's
That
my
that was
favorite.
my jam. That
Of
was like the
course.
big
Yep.
hit. So I put on the little, you remember the
Ooh.
little sheer little
Mm-hmm.
tutu she used to wear with the tank top and all.
And the cut
So
off
I put
heels.
her
Yep.
correct and with the big hair. And so I did Jody Watley. And then I sang the song. Um, I said, sorry. I
That's
sang the song. And but I did two.
okay.
So I did Jody Watley and then I dressed up like Angela Wimbush. And
Oh, well,
I sang your
yes.
smile.
Ooh,
And I'm
ooh,
12
those
singing it
vocals.
and hitting all the
Wow.
notes and everything. And so my sixth grade teacher was like, child, she was like, "SYLEENA," she said, "you have professional talent." And she said, "You are going to be a great singer one day." And I
Oh,
was 12. And so I feel like that at that moment, she spoke that into me because my
mhm,
dad had not done that.
of course.
My mom and everybody would just make me sing for show and tell.
Mm-hmm.
But she was the first person to speak that into me as a child.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, it was kind of subconscious. I still just going on about my way. But when I was 15, my father acted like he miraculously found out I was a singer because I did this audition to be in this play. And come to find out, the pianist who was doing the audition, the pianist, was a good friend of my father and was like, "You don't know that your daughter's down here singing like this?" And I was singing like some jazz song, some elevated jazz song at 15. I was singing "The Days of Wine and Roses," like a jazz song. And he was like, "You don't know your daughter's down here?" So my father act like he didn't know, child. And comes down to the audition the next day and then from there my father wanted to, he got serious and he put me in the studio at 15 and I
Oh,
recorded my first album at 15 years old. And then from there, that's when I started to feel like, wow, I could really do this.
so you've been in business now how many years, if you don't mind telling, from 15 to
Let me see. I recorded my first album at 15.
mm-hmm.
It didn't go anywhere because my father didn't do anything with it.
Crap.
We did another album at 17,
Mm-hmm.
8, 17. That album, actually, he did put that song out. So I'll say since I was 17.
Oh,
Let's see. So I'm 48 now.
nice.
So what's that? 31. 31
31 years.
years.
I think we deserve to celebrate you on Black
Okay.
on Black Music Month.
31 years.
Yeah, honey,
Okay.
that this is a legend and an icon. And listen, I don't think I introduced myself.
I'll take
If
it.
you guys are just tuning in, I'm Lisa Durden. I'm one of the contributing hosts of the Sidebar. This is being presented by the New York Association of Black Journalists because we talk about all kinds of topics. So I always say
Hmm.
clap for that. Very nice. I love that. That's a great story. I don't think I've seen you everywhere, every interview, every talk show you've done. I've seen you. I've never heard you tell that story in that way. This is really great. I know about the dad and all that. And by the way, my condolences
Hmm.
about, your father and stuff. I know that you guys
Thank you.
close. But that's great. Because I know for me, I was always a talker, like in the house. So I didn't know about like media
Uh-huh.
that we have now, but I knew a little early on I was going to be the next Sue Simmons, if you will. Although I didn't end up that way.
Right.
I was, so I'm in the career, but not the specific career I thought I'd have. But I'm in the media business. So nobody
Hmm.
who knew me is surprised I'm doing this. You know. So,
Right.
so I kind of knew that. But I want to talk about your fate. I mean, I can't go through your whole, you know, your whole list of good songs, but I want to talk about like two of my faves. Girl, I didn't even know it was you when it came out. When you did the hook for All Fall Down by Kanye West.
Mm.
What it is?
Uh-uh.
Oh my. I'm like, ow, ow, that was sexy, honey. I was like, ooh, I was doing it back in the day, honey. That's one of my faves. I don't like him so much anymore, but he was still, still good. Leave it to that. But the vocals on that was sick. So I just kind of wanted to know, and then another one we'll talk about that. Black Woman, sort of a recent song. So
Hmm.
when you're, I know that collabos happen all kinds of ways. So did did he write that song with you in mind? Did you write? Because I know you write as well. Did you write it and then say, "Hey, I want to bring Kanye on"? How did that take place? In that hook, in that production, it's just, ooh, that thing was, ooh, I can't. I loved it. That's my favorite.
So,
My favorite one.
um, it's interesting. It's interesting. Hold on, I'm gonna start my car up
Yep.
because I'm trying to be. It's tough being places where you can have quiet and peace, child. You got to be in your car to get the good
To
uh
get, to get
concepts.
silence.
Okay.
Mm,
But so All Falls Down, Kanye was getting ready to work on chapter 3,
mm.
my third album. And I was in
Oh,
the studio with him, and we were working on a song called Bullseye for chapter 3, that's featuring Common. And at the same time, he was working on College Dropout in
mm.
another
Yep.
room.
Yep.
He was
Yep.
trying to finish it up, you know. And so it was like he was under a deadline, and he was just next door, like doing two things at once. So he comes back over, and I finished Bullseye, whatever. And then he says, "SYLEENA, um, I need you. I want to see if you could try something. I tried a few different singers, but I wanted to just see, if you could try it." So I was like, okay. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning. We were pretty much finishing up. And so I just went next door, and it was the Mystery of Iniquity sample by Lauryn Hill. The I'm telling you, oh, that was from her regular. It's the Mystery of
Mhm. Yep.
Iniquity.
Jersey
And she
girl.
was, yeah, I love me some Lauryn Hill. Yeah. So I recognized what it was right away because a lot of people don't know that Unplugged album. But I love Lauryn
Oh,
Hill. So I stalked her. So I knew. I was like, oh, that's from this. And he was like, well, I can't get the clearance on Lauren herself. He was like, so I would have to have someone re-sing it, and they would have to do it kind of different, put a spin on it so that it's like kind of re-sung as opposed to singing it the exact way. But when I first got in there, in my mind, oh, this is Lauryn Hill. So if he wants Lauryn Hill, I got to try to sing it as close as possible, to her. So at first I just start singing it. I'm telling you, oh, just like that, just over and over like that. And to try to get what he wanted,
mm-hmm.
So then he's just looking, and his A&R guys looking at him, and they looking at each other. There's only two of them in there. And then he goes, kind of do what you want to do, do some runs, whatever. And that's when I'm telling you, I'm telling you,
I love that.
So I just was doing different things to try to, you know, mix it up. And
Mm-hmm.
then he was like, okay, all right. And then I harmonized them and stacked them and did all this other stuff to try to, you know, keep it kind of close, but not so close that it's the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I left out of there, and it only took a couple minutes. I left out of there and went back to my hotel.
So yeah, you were saying, so you
Okay,
were trying
sorry.
to sing it. You were trying to sing it a couple of different ways that it's strong, but
Right,
you weren't trying to like do it exactly the way Lauryn Hill did the hook, did her
correct.
hook for her.
Because I guess he wanted, some variation. So the next day, I did it, and I was like, all right, good night. And they were just like, oh, okay. And then the next morning they called like, oh, this the single. We get ready to shoot the video and all this other stuff. And I was barely awake. was like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. And so after that, I was just like, oh, okay, and then from there, like a month later, I don't even know if it was a month, a couple of weeks later, um, it was on the radio.
Oh,
And then it
wow.
just went nuts. It just
I
went
mean,
nuts. Like it didn't.
that is one of my favorite hooks from you. You have a whole gigantic catalog, but that was just like, oh my God, that the vocals. So, I mean, I don't know. That's my favorite. Is that like I'm sure that when everybody asks the usual corny question, "Oh, what's your favorite song for yourself?" But there always is because even though I'm a filmmaker, I'm a producer, there are some projects that are my faves other than other projects for different reasons. So
Mhm.
when someone asks you, "Is something your fave?" Is it about like how your vocals were, or was it the arrangement, or just like how successful it was? Yours was my fave because of the way the hook was and the way the vocals were on the hook. So it's not my
Mhm.
favorite song of yours, it's my favorite vocal of yours.
Okay. Okay.
I have favorite songs,
Um.
but that's my favorite vocal of yours.
No, I mean I get that. Like there's levels to favorites. So
Yes.
like you could be like, okay, the vocals on this was the bomb. This is my favorite vocal.
Yes.
This song, the lyrics were the bomb.
Exactly. Yes.
This song, the whole song is off the chain. And then this song, I just really like the beat. I don't even care what she's saying, but I just like the way she riding this beat.
Yep.
So yeah, it's different. It's
Yep.
different concepts per songs. Correct.
Yep. Because Black Mia well, it's not called Black Woman, but the song Woman, that's one of my
Woman.
favorite songs because of both. So the vocals are hidden, the message is hidden, powerful. That's my favorite overall song for you.
Wow.
Yeah, and I know your whole catalog, girl. I'm 61, so please, I'm older than you. So when I saw the video, like also too, when I saw the video, it just all made sense. So to me, that was I'm black, black, blackity black too. So since that's one of my favorite songs overall, as you kind of grew in your career, since we're talking about celebrating Black Music Month, by the
Mhm.
time you got to the point of that song, were you thinking about all those elements? Obviously, your vocals, obviously the production, obviously the writing. But were you thinking about message as well? And then even the visuals for the
For the Woman album.
yep,
So the Woman album was inspired by being a talk show host
yep,
on Sister Circle.
gotcha.
Um, and I just it's one thing, and you can really relate to this as well as a Black woman in media. So it's one thing to be on this side of the couch,
Correct,
but then it's another thing to go and be on the other side of that couch.
correct.
And the amount of research that you have to do, like real journalists, the amount
Correct.
of research that real
Yep,
journalists
yep,
have to do. And all of our producers were journalists. We had like our executive producer was a journalist, a bona fide journalist. And then a couple of our producers graduated from college as journalists. You know what I'm saying? So they were very much a stickler on
facts.
quoting things and facts
Correct.
and things of that nature.
Yes,
And so we had to research a lot, and just the information, and Sister Circle was
I
not
love that show.
news.
Yep,
Me too. I miss
I
it.
love that
Sister
show.
Circle, it was great for us, for our people in general.
I loved it.
Um, but it was ran by white conglomerates, and that's where it goes.
Yep, BET. Yeah,
So
yep.
no, not BET. It was
But
TV
TV
One
One.
licensed it. No,
Oh,
TV
right. It
One
was TV
licensed
One.
it, but it
Right.
was
Because
owned. It was owned by Tegna, which is a white
oh, yeah, that's
station.
right. TV One. Yeah, because
Correct.
yeah, okay, because the black lady owns TV One.
Yes.
I keep forgetting
I
her.
can't.
Kathy Hughes. Yeah, we
Kathy
found her in New
Hughes.
York. Yep, Kathy. So I didn't know that
Correct.
before. Okay, gotcha. Hmm.
Yeah. So Kathy. So TV One was devastated too. They snatched
Oh
the
wow,
show during the pandemic without even telling anybody.
wow.
That's girl. That's a whole nother
Yeah,
story.
I know.
But yeah. So Sister Circle, the amount of information that I had to research, it just really opened up the doors to how much disrespect that Black women have to deal with. the things that as artists we walk around just oblivious to. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying?
Yep.
You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
we not really big. I wasn't really big in politics, even though my mother was the first Black police
You be killing the
commissioner.
politics conversations when you were doing
Oh,
cocktails with the queens, girl. You be killing the politics.
because after
Okay.
well, again, sister circle prepped me for that. Plus, my
Yes.
mom is a politician. My
Ooh.
uncle was like the head of the FBI. So I would, and my sister teaches politics. Dr. Salisha
Yep. Yep.
Thompson.
I saw her
Ain't
graduation
no,
the other day.
listen,
Go.
nobody's colder than her in politics.
Ooh,
She
girl.
literally knows everything. And so I had information sources around me to help me understand politics a lot better. Um, and I actually don't like it. It's totally unfair.
Yep.
It's totally ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where woman was birthed.
Mm.
You know, understanding that the Equal Pay Act was came out and was passed, and we still get less. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the fact that Black women make up 80 some percent of the marketplace as consumers, and we're still paid less. You know what I'm saying? We work the hardest, we get paid the least. Not only that, my major in college was nutrition science. So I did my capstone on Black women and obesity and how it wasn't linked to us somewhere eating a whole bunch of food. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mm-hmm.
linked to stress. It's linked to the lack of not eating. You know,
Emotional and
it's
emotional
so
eating
many
as
things.
well. Emotional
Oh,
eating
of
as well.
course. Correct. Yes, but the misconception is that, and first of all, we're just curvy and just our bodies are the way they are just naturally.
Mm.
However, the misconception is that we're overeating.
Mm-hmm.
Well, pretty much everybody that lives in America overeats
Yes.
because the portions alone are nuts. So everybody in the world overeats. Even skinny people can overeat. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that's not why people are getting fat at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Stress is what I found in my in my research is that is killing us all. You know, stress and like you said, and us being super busy,
Mm-hmm.
busier than we need to be, having to carry more jobs, more degrees in order
Yep.
to be accepted, and
See?
all of
Yep.
this stuff.
Yep.
The pressure of that, and still not making enough to make ends meet.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
just it's frustrating. And so the amount of information, that I was privy to as a talk show host, being on the other side of that couch, it just really opened up my eyes to, the strength of us as women, but
Okay.
also the disadvantage of us, of our existence, and how we have to continuously be in fight or flight mode. And so I wanted to write an album that was strong, and that was an ode to them, to us, you know, something that could inspire us.
Mm-hmm. And what I love about your career, because even though we're celebrating Black Music Month, I think that I'm gonna say since at least the 90s, late 90s, going into the 2000s, we began to see artists become brands. Although it's a stronger
Mhm.
thing now because social media kind of
Mhm.
started out a little bit, but now it's very strong. And then
Right.
it became a thing where I began seeing, you know, musicians become artists in general. So I'm gonna call you pretty much what they say is a multi-hyphenate. So your music took you went from the music took you through music, talk, that's still the arts, and it took you to being a creative in terms of film and behind the camera. So you all of your skill sets that you learn through music story, because really music is storytelling. You've told stories many ways.
Correct.
So the
Yes.
other way that I want to bring up really quickly before we go in we got about 2 more minutes before we go, is talk about, I know you've done other ventures, but the first time I saw that the first time I saw that you did a venture was when you did a documentary called The Making of a Woman. Um,
Hmm.
so it gave fans like myself, okay, a different way to see your artistry, and it grew out of, again, your music,
Uh-huh.
your storytelling through the music, and of course you
Correct.
did the music for the film as well. So talk about what made you now venture into, so you've got the talk show thing going on. You did two other talk shows, obviously, Cocktails with the Queens, so that was cool, and you went on to do Crown, that was cool, so you've gotten that
Hmm.
locked in. You've done so you're acting, now you're producing. What made you do that concept? Is it similar to, like, you wanted to show the colors of Black women and the diversity of how we are in not just skill but thought and how we live. It's not always like one note thing, or we're not monolithic, if you will.
Correct. We are not monolithic. We are not one dimensional. And so
I
I can
love
only
that.
speak on Black women, right? Because I'm a Black woman.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm gonna stay there. I'm gonna stay at Black women. Not to say that other races of women don't have their struggles and don't have
Sure.
their stuff. But I can only speak on Black women because that's who I'm surrounded by. That's who I was raised by. That's what I am, and that's my interest. That's my
Yeah.
area of interest. To be quite honest with you, and so I have spent an immense time, not just in my own body, but being around. Being the youngest of what is it, four sisters. You know what I'm
Ooh.
saying? Mom and aunts, and you know what I'm saying. So I'm well versed in us, right? I'm well versed in woman. I speak woman, which is why my songs resonate with women the
Yes.
way that they do, because I talk like us. I speak from our heart place as well. My goal in anything that I do, because women are the forefront, I guess you could say I'm a feminist in a way, um, is to inspire us. I have a family full of Black women who have struggled immensely in many different ways, that I had to watch growing up.
Mm.
And, beautiful women that, end up having tough lives because of low self-esteem and raggedy men and whatever the case may be, just world kicking their tail. So my goal is to inspire. In Sister Circle, when I decided to do a fitness competition,
I
the
remember
only
that.
purpose of that was to show women that we can work and be fit at the same time. It's possible. So I held myself accountable. Plus, I'm gonna shortly. I'm already working on it, but I'm going to launch my company called SYLEENA, which is for us. Again, just a company that is, for health and wellness, workouts, information. My older sister's a nurse. She's in college right now, about to get her become a nurse practitioner. So they're both. She's a doctor. In terms of doctorate, she teaches nursing in college. On the college level. So, excuse me, but my goal, storytelling.
Yes.
My job is to tell the stories of Black women. That's what I do. And just me as a woman, I use my own stories. I use some of the stories that I've heard from other women that I love and respect. Um, and that's my audience. You know what I'm saying? So I cater to my audience in terms of the platform, how I speak, what I'm saying, how I'm portrayed. All of those things are important when you are an entertainer or a celebrity, if you will. Um, the younger generation is looking up to you. Not to say they don't have mothers and they can't get it pop in a different way, but there is a slight responsibility for us to lead the next generation. And so I'm okay with that. I'm a mother. So that's a natural thing
Mhm.
for me anyway.
Makes sense.
So yes, everything that I do is to inspire, to motivate, educate, entertain, in the best way that I can,
Hmm.
women.
Hmm.
And in doing that, by doing that, I also help to educate the men that love them.
Hmm.
It's, if men that care, the men that care about us, the good men, um, they'll find that information useful. You see what I'm saying? If you're studying Black women, you love Black women, then you should go listen to the things that they listen to. You should be interested in the things that they're interested in so that you can begin to speak their language. And this is, in my opinion, why we having so much trouble,
Hmm.
because they somewhere speaking a language over here, we over here, they over here speaking a language, and don't nobody want to just come together and have the conversation with each other, you know. So because of egos and intimidation and other
Of
stuff.
course.
But yes, that is my goal and that is my focus.
Mm.
Women, to inspire women, young mothers, in every area that I have expertise, not just music, but just
Yep.
living. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So,
Yep. Yeah, no, that's broad. Yeah, and I was I was looking forward to watching the film because I'm a filmmaker. The last thing I'll talk about is, because I like to leave folks with, we're talking to a lot of legends and icons this month on the Sidebar
Mhm.
podcast. I'm Lisa Durden, your co-host or my, contributor, if you will. So I wanted to talk about like the things you're doing now that people can kind of connect with live. We haven't gotten outside in a long time, so we are back outside again. And I think
Okay.
because I'm your stalker, I think I heard you're going to be at City Winery coming up. Talk about that. I think Atlanta or something's coming up, right? So where can folks catch you?
Um,
What's your next show? Because people want to physically be outside, interact with you, and see
well,
vocals, girl. I think it's something coming up, right?
I'll I'll be in Tampa Thursday,
Oh, Tampa.
but my tour starts.
Oh,
The City Winery tour starts July 5th, and it kicks off in St. Louis.
oh, it's a
I'll be in
tour
New
for City
York.
Winery. You've done different ones.
Yeah,
Now it's a whole tour. Gotcha. Okay.
correct. I'm doing St. Louis, but I'm kind of breaking it up this time.
Okay.
So I'm doing St. Louis and then Nashville on the 7th of July. And then I'm going to do Philadelphia, Boston, and Pittsburgh in August. But I'm also doing Sony Music Hall
Oh,
August 38th in New York.
nice.
Um, and I think that's August 30th. And then there's some shows like in between. So if they want to find out my schedule, they can go to my website, which is SYLEENAmusic.com, or they can just go to my page. All my dates are there, my Instagram page, my Facebook page, all my dates are there. So yes, we back outside.
Back
We
outside. Okay.
popping fans, we tea
Yeah.
sipping, we drinking
Yes.
water and minding our business, and drinking wine and man.
Oh, well, yes. We can't forget the wine. But
Listen,
I'm a little bit of a ghetto girl. I like it sweet, like I like it hood sweet. Like
oh
Manischewitz. I mean, I
yeah,
drink
like Moscato. You one of them.
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
Riesling,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got old problems, so I drink the dry Cabernet
Oh, you're
Marlboro.
you're classy, not assy. My sister's classy
Well,
like
I got real tough problems. So
so the
you
dry
need a,
wine gets you there real quick.
I need a strong wine to get me right where I need to go.
Yeah, I'm a punk, so I just need a little couple of glasses and I'm good. I'm a food
Right.
girl. If you say, come to my wedding, it's an open bar. I'm like, what's your menu? I'm not
Okay.
about open bar. I'm coming about your menu. so,
Okay. Yeah,
so
I have a good time with food as well.
I'm,
But
I'm a foodie.
yes, but we are outside and we
Nice. I
are,
appreciate that.
two-stepping and minding our business. We
I love
are
it.
ignoring the world as much as we
The hot
can.
mess. Yes.
We don't have
Yes.
time for it. We
No.
did our part.
Correct.
We're the 92%. We did our part.
That's all we have.
Okay, then. So we gotta listen, and
And
we gotta just mind our own business.
got to
Yeah,
mind our own business, mind our black business, and
that's it.
mind our celebrating Black Music Month with
Correct.
Selena Johnson and Selena. Listen, I'm a stalker, so now I got to take a little bit of advantage of the interview. I got to come to the New York show. I've never seen you in person. I've
You
never.
have to come to the New York show.
I'm
You
in
would
New
have
Jersey, girl.
the best time ever.
We
You
got
would
to
have the
make that
best time.
happen. Let me know.
You
Let me
are
know.
already on the list. You're
I'm on
already
the
on
list.
the
So
list.
to me and my friend Iris, we got to see Selena singing. Ooh, I want a front seat.
Yes.
Now, Selena, when you see me, I'm not recognizable because guess what? Oh no, yeah, we're both tall. I'm 5'11".
Oh, good. I'm 5'10", so you're
Yes,
very
yeah.
recognizable.
So
Yeah.
yeah, because people go leap when they see me, they go, "Oh my
No
God,
one's gonna miss
you're
you. Yeah.
so."
No one's gonna miss you. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll know exactly who you are. Yes.
yeah. Right. People think when you see me on Zoom, I'm like short. No, I'm actually tall. I'm
Yeah.
leggy,
I'm very
no
people don't
torso.
know I'm tall either,
Yeah,
but
so we'll be tall
I
later.
am.
So I'll
Yeah, I
follow
have
up
a good
about
time being
that.
tall.
Yeah, but coming to the show, I'm coming to the show. That's July 30th. But anyway, go on our website, check it
It's
out. Oh,
August 30th is
August.
the Sony Music Hall. Yeah.
Oh, August 30th is New York. But go to the website,
Yeah.
you'll get all the dates for the tour. I didn't know it was a tour.
Correct.
Great. And I've
Yes.
been wanting to
Yes.
get to City Winery anyway, because I've been here. A lot of folks are, singing at City Wineries around the country. So I've been wanting to go to check one of them out anyway.
Yeah.
In different ones. But we have different
The
city.
New York. I won't be at the New York City Winery. I
No,
won't be
I
at the New
know
York
you'll be
City
in someplace
Winery.
different
That's
in
why
New
I'm at
York.
the Sony. But I will say this: do go there because
Yeah,
the
yeah,
venue is
yeah, yeah.
beautiful
You're
and
doing
the music sounds amazing.
yeah. So the City Winery should be doing those as well, but you're doing a bunch of things, correct? A
Yeah.
bunch of things. So yes.
Correct. Correct.
So go to the website, check out the different ones, the different locations, and check out the vocals. But I'll be at the New York venue and with my friend Iris, and I'm gonna enjoy myself.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for coming. Let me stop the recording and I'll let you know when we
Yes.
up.
I'm so
Yay!
sorry for this.
I love this.